Hey, what's happening, people? Pause here, and today we are doing round 4 of the ESR co-op. It's not co-op, what the fuck am I... Yeah! And into the fails! We're doing the ESR Performance Sunday, round 4. I got the round right, at least. We're in Spain, and I'm joined by Keo for the first time. So, Keo, welcome to the ESR commentary, buddy. How you doing?
Thank you very much. Yeah, no, I'm doing all right. Pleasure. Thought I'd lend my beautiful, sexy voice to the commentary.
I also do say that from time to time. This is not going to be a fun one for both of us, is it? We're just going to basically rip the shit out of each other. Just for you guys as well, obviously this is Keo's first time actually appearing in a performance race of any sort, obviously with ourselves, with the commentary side, or racing. So what we've actually done today is we've bumped the drivers up. So now we've actually got Mustafa Shag, who is in the Mercedes, of course, would be partnered by Swizz. He has just woken up. I've just got the message, Keo, by the way. He will be attending Monaco. We are doing that straight after this. 50% more likely this time, of course. We are now doing, with the Ferrari, it's going to be Hemp and Wayne Hammer. Red Bull, we have got Soldier Jan, who didn't tickle my balls. And also, we have ESR Verstappen. In the Williams, we've got Itchy who hopefully will not blow up this time. He needs to finish a race, I assume. And... well, we don't have any other Williams driver, we would have, but that's a controversial topic. We also do have, I believe, in the Force India Grim, and then we have, who else we got? Hightower in the Toro Rosso, Venoms, and Forrester in the Haas. So this is what we are running with. Forrester making his debut today, Keo, as well, by the way, his first actual appearance in the league. So,
wow. Yeah, definitely in the McLaren. I feel like he's going to be a very strong contender, at least for a podium. The one that I'm more particularly looking forward to watching is It's Your Mum, because obviously it's Williams' 40th anniversary this weekend, so yes, I really want him to perform well.
Hey, glad to point that one out, man. It's 40 years since Frank Williams, well, yeah. Well, last didn't look like Mr. Burns, that's probably one thing we will say. Right, so It's Your Mum coming through to the start is the first flying lap under the new format, 50% of course. Changed because of the fact we have a new game coming out in 5 weeks. You might have heard of it. It's F1 2017, or 5.5 weeks. I, of course, will be playing it. I'm assuming Keo will as well, otherwise we wouldn't really be doing the community justice. On board then with It's Your Mum, going around turn 3, and he is in, of course, the Williams, as you said there, Keo. Yeah, then might as well ask you while we're just kind of sitting here waiting for shit to kick off. You'll like my sweary words, they're quite nice. What would you say the favourite would be? Obviously we've got the faster cars now, so it's going to be a little bit more kind of fast-paced racing rather than driving around with a Renault and a fucking Haas, you know what I mean? But who would you say your favourites are for this particular race?
Well, it's a very technical track. It's one that I think will be more akin to the guys that are more smoother on the wheel. It's one that you've definitely got to get into the flow of. The only point and squirt parts of the sector is the one that's Mum's now coming into now, the final sector. You got to get it absolutely perfect. You got to get your tyre wear. So I think that the people that are softer on their steering wheel are definitely going to be the ones that have a definitive advantage. And of course, it's a power track that a lot of the Formula One teams do for testing. So I think the Mercedes-powered engines are definitely going to be strong here. So I think Shag is definitely going to be in for a contention to win the race. I mean, like he did very, very well in the Red Bull. So him being in a Mercedes, I think he's going to be a real contender to extend his championship lead.
Well, you never know, man. Well, he obviously had a bit of a bad race in Russia in the end, of course. Do you know, I nearly forgot the tracker out. That would have been a bit of a disaster, wouldn't it? And we're getting some lap times in as well, bro. Actually, while we're speaking, Verstappen's just done a 22.0 in the Red Bull, half a second quicker than Ben in the Williams, and Grimm in the Force India. I thought the Force India would be a bit quicker than that, but we'll move on there. And Venom's only 6 tenths down in the Macca, so what you did say about the McLaren is Soldier Jan is just starting his flyer. We'll go on board with Hammer, of course. In the Ferrari, our last race winner. But no, as you mentioned, McLaren, it's almost going to be a hit and miss track for them, isn't it? Because they've got obviously the corner manoeuvrability and the kind of design on the car that does work well with, you know, the Spanish track. But then, of course, McLaren's problem is power, as Hammer does a 123.1.
I'm just watching Grimm at the moment. He's one that I definitely want to see doing well at this track. I feel like he was robbed on Saturday.
On a personal note, of course. Definitely.
Oh, absolutely. No bias whatsoever for the Manigar.
No, basically Grimmy's pictured to win the championship already, so enjoy your Force India, but no, he you know, as a Saturday driver as well, if this game wasn't shit, he would be still driving around in Q2. That's all I will say. You know what I mean? It's designed by this fucking game, the reason why you couldn't get back in. But what can you do?
Yeah, thanks, Codemasters.
Bunch of fucking
Gets
twats.
a little bit out of
He's
shape.
gone in the pits anyway. Oh, yeah, there goes
he's
the bar.
abandoned it.
Oh, where's he going? Grab. We have Shag on a lap here in the
So
middle.
he's abandoned that lap now.
On a 1 minute 30 something already. This is the curse of the Mercedes. I mean, we had Bellish in this last time, so yeah, it's a good work. Unless it's a banker lap, which it could potentially be. We'll have a look here. Shag's already in the 40s, I think. If this is accurate, it is. It's a 43.0. It's something that's kind of gone majorly wrong.
Maybe he made a mistake.
Potentially, you'd assume so, wouldn't you? So yeah, Hightower actually did a 1 minute 23.7 in the Toro Rosso. But obviously got invalidated. Jan in the Red Bull in second position. Red Bull 1-2 at the moment there, Kia. So kind of almost
Looking very good
bypassing
for
what you said.
the Red Bulls.
It is. It seems like they're kind of up to speed, up to power, up to scratch, and really, really doing the business. We have our second McLaren going out on track now. We'll just follow him around for a minute. It is Forrester making his Sunday night debut. So obviously Forrester, a guy we're both very familiar with. Me almost more so than you. He's in every single league I'm bleeding racing in at the moment, so I've got to be familiar with him. But no, a good fact for you, Kia, as well. And Forrester, our first ever ESR Saturday winner. He pipped Taf Kabir by 0.7 seconds in our first race. So full of excitement. I don't know who my commentary partner was. I think I think he used to idolise me back in the day. But we'll move on from that. So Forrester in the McLaren. Interesting to point out as well. All the guys are going around, other than I believe Hammer and Shag, are going round on the soft tyre, which could be possibly detrimental depending on how the track conditions work out in the race.
Well, it's definitely an abrasive track, so it's all going to be down to, like I say, how they manage their tyres. Shag 23.4, so he's picking up speed, but I think he's got to come in for the soft tyre.
He's going to have to do softs, isn't he? Unless he's just willing to. I mean, every single person here, unless they crash. Well, no, while saying that, if obviously each person sets an individual up or doesn't crash, will be starting on the tyres they set here. So I guess that's a plus point, obviously, with 10 drivers. Obviously, for Monaco, Swizz will be back, just to confirm you guys, in the second Mercedes. You know, it leads to a bit of more of an exciting change in the performance. You know, we've got 2 races, a little bit more for the drivers to think about, having their quicker cars now. I mean, for example, Forrester and Venoms were actually in the Renaults up until this point, so a bit more power behind their thumbs or right feet. So, but no, Keo, just want to kind of openly congratulate you without sounding like I'm licking your ass. Apparently you've already done that to get the commentary job, but we'll move on anyway. I vaguely must have been too pissed to remember. But no, great win for yesterday. What can I say? You were just other than tricks. You just led the whole way. Absolutely led it.
Yeah, I was surprised that I had the pace that I have. Like, Spain is one of these weird tracks. Since F1 2015, it's been really kind to me. Like, the games before, I really, really struggled here. But since 2015, I won my first eSIM championship in one of the lower leagues on this track. When I did the career mode on this game, this was the first track that I took a victory at on the career mode. It's such a fun track to drive around, especially on the wheel.
It's a dive. You mentioned obviously with kind of like the kind of squirt in the throttle. I mean, it's interesting how the pad users are going to get along on, isn't it? I mean, obviously wheel users. This is one of the few tracks that you're going to have an advantage on as Forrester comes around the last corner. Here we go. And a McLaren for Forrester.
I think it's going to be a good lap.
22.4. Bloody hell! Quickest of
That's
the
a
non-Red
good lap.
Bulls. Wow. We thought Mercedes would be up there, but I mean, the fastest Mercedes runner at the moment is Grimm, and he's currently in 5th position. Going for the Force India. But it's gonna throw potentially a new race winner. This we've had a couple, but I mean, we have Wayne and Shag and Hemp in the first 3 races of the season.
It's looking likely.
Brand new winners. So talking about that, then obviously we're looking at, you've got Shag, of course, top of the championship by a fair distance. But other than that, I'm not really sure if he's going to be able to continue it. And here we go. Here comes the Tower on his lap. Is it an outlap? It certainly is. Getting excited over outlaps again. The ESR way. Right. I still don't have a clue.
And he's supposed to go on the mediums as well.
Grim, a Tower on the mediums. In the Toro, I guess he's kind of almost thinking about the race. Now, we do have to address something here, don't we? Obviously, we had good races. I had a faultless one yesterday. Blowing my own fucking trumpet, but yeah, it was a mental one, wasn't it? Jesus Christ. Christ.
Absolutely.
There's us driving our merry way to first and third. Hey, I got my first podium on Saturday. Love it. Well, since last year anyway. In fact, we had the same pretty much top 3 as we did last year without Pro-Tux being there in Singapore. Hashtag. But yeah, it's... Yeah, I think we counted 25 incidents by looking at just one point of view, so we'll move on there. Here comes Tower coming along the DRS straight now. See how Tower kind of does with this particular part of it. Here we go.
30.3 for the second sector. That's a little bit down, but that's not too far off the top guys.
It's a tricky one, isn't it? I mean, the Toro Rosso we know isn't probably going to be winning any championships anytime soon, but we both know what Tower can do. You know, we've kind of witnessed it on the Tuesday League. He's been sensational, obviously, while he's been there. But here we go, Tower now. Obviously, other one blows, but he blows up around Russia. Comes across the line here from Tower, and is he going to put it in the 22s? He doesn't. It's a 23.3, just in front of the Mercedes-clad Shag. Very interesting. And you mentioned it, Keo. Shag has come out on the softer tyre. Soft tyres, he's doing it. He's taking the bait. Mercedes can't really be qualifying in 9th or 8th, I think they are at the moment, or 9th. We'll have a double check now. 9th it is for Shag at the moment, with Hemp not going out at the moment, which I'm assuming he's just waiting until the end of the session. But, oh, Shag, a bit of a twitchy moment there around the corner.
He really seems to be fighting that Mercedes.
I mean, obviously we have sprung this key, haven't we, on kind of everybody with the 250% format. It was only decided today, but of course, with the simple reason that we do know kind of how to drive each track. Raratron, welcome to the stream, buddy. 250% races here, Rara, so you will be entertained twice in one night. Please make sure, guys, as well, you go to the eSports YouTube page and make sure you click on the old subscribe button. If you haven't already, do it. If you've done it already, then don't do anything. Don't know what else to say there, really. So yeah, basically, Gio, you know the old score commentary. Flick down and let me try and catch him as best I can, I guess. That works. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Works for us. And I've heard you've got a great Murray Walker impression, so I'm going to probably let you go with the start. I have been informed. I reckon for the viewers, we should drop the bomb and let him do it. That's what I really think.
Do you know what? I was actually tempted to do it straight away, but you know what? I'm going to save it. I'm going to wait.
I may even, like, I will mute my mic, which is rare. I'm guessing all the viewers are thinking, fuck, the dickhead's going to mute his mic now, but I will mute my mic. Ready for you to do this. As we get Shag, it's 22.3. That is just off the fastest time here, Keo. In the second sector, we're looking towards a 29.7, possibly a 29.8, depending how he does here. It's a 29.7, 29.768. He is 1,000th of a second off Soldier Jan in the middle sector. So this is a good one for Shag. This potentially could put the Mercedes driver on pole.
Soldier Jan set the fastest middle sector as well, so this is going to be very, very close between the Red Bulls and the Mercedes.
It is. In fact, I think it's going to be a matter of 1,000th of a second if Shag gets this right, which he's not done a bad job of. Twitchy on the exit, and he goes 4th.
Ooh.
Oh, it's a bad last sector, 30.2. And we have Hemp on track as well now, so we'll get back on board with Hemp, who's invalidated anyway, moving on. Move back at him in a minute.
Meanwhile, Grim has gone into 3rd.
Grim 3rd, thank you for pointing that out. Grim, your Saturday teammate Keo, 1 minute 22.2. How competitive is this? You know, I mean, obviously there were question marks as to whether we should do 250s, whether we should up the cars, you know. This is proven it's working. I mean, obviously, everyone within 1.3 seconds, and mate, do not have... Oh dear, I've had chicken for dinner, like char grilled. Give me hiccups. Just thinking, I was just speaking. Not really working. Here comes Wayne Hammer on a 22.2.
He's speaking in tongues.
Wayne Hammer fastest round first sector. This is going to be a good one. Here we go then. So as we said, looking for a 29.7. They're all gone now on soft tyres. So, you know, obviously other than Tower, who you'd probably expect under his pace, and there's Shag getting firmly out of the way of Wayne. Really just to kind of, for Tower, just to get a bank of that lap and just take it to the bank. But obviously we know Tower, he likes to be the quickest. And Wayne, that is an absolutely sensational shot of the rear of the Ferrari while we're driving forwards. Thank you, Codemasters. 30.0, it's a scrappy middle sector. Oh, it's going to be close for Wayne. He has actually improved by 2/10 on his own lap, but it's not going to get the job done for pole, I don't think, unless he has a superb final sector. Coming into the 4th to last corner with the chicane looming. What line is he going to take? Is he going to go deep? He is pretty deep. How's he going to ride the curve? That's actually a really good line through there. I'm kind of jealous. Go round in the final corner now onto the start-finish straight. And he puts it in second, 22.106. Under a tenth behind Kyo.
That's a really good lap time.
Ooh.
900ths of a second off of pole.
Ooh, tasty. The field now separated other than Hemp. We will now go back to, of course. And Hemp decides to invalidate his time in 10 seconds this time, rather than 12. So, yeah. He kind of really needs to think about... I mean, he has set a lap time, so he does kind of abide by the rules of Hitler, I guess. Which, ironically, is something I come up with. So I'm probably calling myself Hitler right about now, but we'll move on. But interesting how... yeah. No Mercedes power car in the top 3. Very, very interesting.
Well, that's just proving me wrong, isn't it?
Yep, shit all over the biscuits.
Soljian goes pole.
What? Oh, I've watched the wrong one.
Soljian has gone pole
Jan,
with a 121.9.
Nice. Right, anybody else near completing the lap so I can catch him? We have someone coming around at the last corner. We'll go here quick. Do-do. My ability to catch people is slacking, as always. Scott is going round on an even quicker time than he did before. Sort of, a little bit quicker. Well, a bit slower, actually. We'll move on. Here we go. Coming round, the final bend now is Scott. A bit of a lag delay there around the corner, as is always with Co-Masters. And he's on medium tyres. And there's a 22.2 on mediums. Wow!
Just 0.2 of a second slower than his fastest lap. I think he's going to go for another run.
He's got just enough time. We can go for 2 if he really wants to, but it'll damage his tyres at least. Venoms is on a flying lap as well. We'll keep an eye on the McLaren. We've not actually given him any coverage so far, so we'll give this a little bit of a watch. So here we go. Venom's coming around the final corner in a moment. I'm just going to stick it on board with him. And we are looking at the front wing of Venom's, flicking over the proper broadcast cam. Here we go, coming across the line. Venom's currently 8th position. Moves 4th! 22.1 for the McLaren. Forrester comes round now. What can he do? I bet you I'm going to miss a pole position lap time while I'm watching Forrester. I usually do, unless I'm watching one here. Forrester, will he pip his... Well, I say teammate. We haven't got teammates in this formula. But his same car driver, Vellens, crosses the line. Forrester goes 3rd!
Brilliant lap.
Wow. It's getting spicy. We've got Ben coming around the second to last corner. A lap time of 11 minutes, 36 seconds. We love you, Cody's! And Ben, if he moves up from this lap, we need to have a word with the developers, I think. Hemp is still going round, and he's invalidated his lap. Keo, 12 seconds again. Hemp starts 10th. Oh dear.
Oh dear.
Ben didn't... Well, he's on his outlap now, Ben. We've got Vemmens. I believe the only one who can make a difference is Verstappen. He hasn't improved. So the whole field, barring Hightower and Hemp, separated by 6/10.
Ben's done a 22.4 in the first sector, so he is on a flyer in the dying
that's
moments.
2/10 quicker. 2/10 up. What times? Well, we're not going to be able to view the times, obviously, because Co-Masters doesn't want us to. This is probably the reason why they didn't give me the beta, isn't it? Because I just sit here slagging them off the whole fucking time. But right, here we go then. Moving on, Ben. We'll get on board with Ben. We may as well do. He runs, very wide there. Will that actually still be able to classify as a lap? I'll tell you what, Kiwi, was that far up? I'm not sure if that would have detrimented his own personal best. I'm not really sure if it would have, but here we go.
Maybe cost him maybe a 10th or 2, but he can probably make it all up in this part here.
McLaren finally gets out of the way. Very, very good. Racing etiquette. That was for Shag there. Happy days. Here comes Ben round the chicane for the final time in qualifying. Rode that very dangerously there. Will it be an improvement there by Ben? We'll find out now. No, it's not. No, it's not. It's flopped. Giving us a little bit of a celebratory wave as he comes across the line. Is there anybody else on a flyer? I don't think so. Verstappen is and doesn't improve. So I think that may be it.
He's abandoning.
Yeah, it's done, I think. Forrester comes into the pits. And yeah, great lap by Forrester in the Macca. 22.1.
Very surprised.
Jesus. So I think these new cars, kind of lineups Keo, have really kind of done the business. I just can't wait for Murray Walker. Personally. That's probably going to be my highlight. So Keo, I'll let you do a quick rundown, man. I'm going to run out for my customary cigarette really quickly. I'll be back in 2 seconds, buddy.
Alright. Well then, we are just Watching Forrester in the distance there being wheeled back into his McLaren Honda garage. Very, very surprised to see McLaren Honda so competitive here, but then again, it is Forrester. So here we go then. Is the round out for the qualifying session. Soljian on pole in the Red Bull. It's a Red Bull 1-2, 121.9 for Soljian. ESR Verstappen just 900ths of a second behind him. And it's Forrester in the McLaren. Then it's Wayne Hammer in the first Ferrari. Vemmans in the McLaren, so the McLarens and the Red Bulls look like they're going to have a very, very good battle going into this race. Grimm in the Force India, 0.2 of a second off of pole in that Force India. Mustafa Shag in the Mercedes, not where he wants to be. The championship leader has got an awful lot of work to do. Hopefully his racecraft is very, very strong. Then it's Ichimam, Hightower Beam and Hemp Gamer bringing up the rest of the pack. Just waiting now for the loading screen. Everyone's lining up on the grid now. It is overcast conditions, but it is going to be a completely dry race. So it's only, the sun is going to come out towards the end, maybe around about lap 22, 23. That's when the clouds will start breaking and we'll start seeing a little bit of sunshine. It's a 33 lap race here in Spain. Track temperature is 28 degrees, the air temperature is 19, so that is going to play a little bit of a gamble into people's tyre strategies. When you're having a look at tyre strategies, there's the selections that you can obviously pick from your strategy menu. High tyre management and low tyre management. The high tyre management is usually the one that's the best one to go for. Here it says, for myself, a two-stop strategy is more preferable. You get 2 stops out of the 33 laps, 48 minutes in total for a race time. Or there's the 3-stop strategy. If you picked a balanced strategy, which is the one that I defaulted on because that's what a lot of drivers tend to go for, they don't tend to go for either an aggressive or a hard tyre strategy unless they are incredibly difficult on the wheel. 3 stops, 48 and 11 seconds. So 48 minutes, 11 seconds. So there is a little bit of time loss, but it all depends on how aggressive you are going to be on that particular steering wheel. I think that for, say for example, Hightower or Forrester, maybe a 2-stop is possible. They seem to be a little bit smoother on their entry. Ichimam is very, very good on his tyre wear, so I expect him to either be completely going against the status quo and trying a 1-stop. I don't know if that's feasible considering 50% races, they usually have scripted tyre wear to be much, much higher. But for definitely someone like Mustafa Shag, it's probably a very, very good calculated risk to try the free stop. So that way you don't have to worry so much about the tyre strategy, you can just put on the faster tyres, get yourself into a good position, put in some really decent laps, and then see what you can do.
I've got to just simply say, I've just sat here for the last minute and a half listening to you. That was fucking sensational. Fair play. Every time you were doing it, I was going on to the tyre strategy going, yeah, I'll pick this one, that one, highlighting different things. I was like, yeah, man, this is going to be awesome. Yeah, Monaco's going to be a battle.
Hey, this ain't my first rodeo.
I know, man. You're probably like 10 times more experienced than myself. I just get along by swearing and being enthusiastic. It seems to work most of the time, even though I have been told off for swearing. But no, as Keo did say, it's kind of almost like a balanced strategy depending on what kind of speed you really are and how good or how confident that you are managing the tyres. It is a vague possibility to do the old 1-stop here. What I'll do, I'll kind of just really kind of remonstrate that. It doesn't even allow me to change the stints, but if we just simply switch up to the hard tyres, we've got a bit of echo there, holy moly. With the harder strategy, you will be absolutely pushing it to do a 1-stop. You'll have to grind your tyres to the point of near non-existence. So, for example, if I was to remove a stint now, it would effectively fall from 4 minutes. And whoa, actually, no. Apparently the 1-stop is quicker. Wow, okay. So apparently the 1-stop speeds it up by 9 seconds, if it's generic tyre wear, but as you said though, Keo, it isn't always the case.
It's projected, yeah, definitely, but it's all about the style of how you drive the car. Like Ben, I fully expect him to go against the status quo. I fully expect him to try a 1-stop, or try and be a little bit cheeky and maybe do a very, very long mid-stint.
Yeah. I do kind of like it's surrounded by almost like on an island with 2 soft tyres. I'm guessing that the guys hopefully are ready. In terms of that, I'll do my old 30-second countdown as per before the 30-second countdown, unless these guys actually are going to start without me, which is awesome. So Keo, might as well ask one more time, buddy. Predictions for the race based on qualifying.
Oof. Well, I said it was a Mercedes-powered car, but I don't know now. I'm going to go with my man. I'm going to go with Grim.
You're going to go Grim? Wow.
I'm going to go Grim.
He's had a lot of bad luck, but also in the Haas car this season, Keo. I'm not sure if... I believe you've watched all the race, haven't you, as well? But in terms of the... Oh, we are starting anyway, so my 30-second countdown can go off. But no, in terms of Grim's form this season, in this particular championship, I would say he's got a high chance. My actual prediction is going to be a bizarre one. I'm going to go Hammer. Based on last week, he really did the business, and I think Hammer can do it, but you can never count out the Red Bulls. 6 to lights off. Murray, over to you.
Well, we are here for the Spanish Grand Prix, waiting now for the 5 red lights. And it's go, go, go for the Spanish Grand Prix as everyone screams off into the first turn.
We are doing that. That is in. So here we go. Oh no, broadcast, come on, give me broadcast, come on, thank you. So at the moment we have got 3 wide already in the first corner, goodness me, McLaren sandwich there in the background, so we are currently on board with Jan, who's got the jump on Verstappen. Jan, of course, was on pole. Red Bull seems to be streaking off. We've got a bit of a battle going on back there. I'll stick with the leader for the moment. If there's any battles, mate, just give me the name and I'll fire over to it. Right, so... We
have got a lot of people battling in the midfield here. Everyone, apart from the Red Bulls, they're all clustered up. It's fantastic stuff at the start here.
Grim has already got Vemmans. He's actually moved ahead of Vemmans up to 5th position, Grim already. Just behind him, the Toro of Tower and the Williams of... I believe it's the Williams of Ben has fallen by a little bit here, to be honest with you. Ben is down... Well, was he in it? I believe he was 8th. This is the professional part, I said. You know what I mean? Not looking good. Hemp in the background, 9th. And Shag is way down. What has happened to Mustafa there?
Oh, he's had a terrible start.
Again, but then remember the Mercedes part will be there. We're going to get on board actually with Vemmans. I'm going to do the behind the car mode as I so often do. We can actually get a good point of view from Vemmans here, from front and behind. So we're going to stick on board with the 6th place man. Had a bit of a shocker yesterday, you know, crashing out on lap 10 of the 100% race. As we have Grim.
Grim is looking like he's going to have a move on Wayne Hammer.
Look at this, Force India versus Ferrari. We've seen a couple of these battles today, incidentally, in the real race. And here comes a Grim has actually ducked back inside. Another battle behind with Ben, trying to make a move on Tower, and he's done it. Ben's picked off high tower. Wayne runs wide there. Wayne's into the gravel.
Oh, the Ferrari's off.
Caught on camera. Not really much you can do there.
Yep, I saw that as well.
Grim damaged. They just kind of went a little bit too close to each other, I believe, in the Williams of Ben. Come on, get off. He's having a look at Vemmans here. I don't think there was really much more that could have been done there, to be fair, Keo. I mean, not sure what if you got a different opinion on it, bro. But anyway, Vemmans is alongside Ben, the superior Mercedes power. Will it get the job done? It has. Ben overtakes Vemmans for 5th position. Wow.
That was a brilliant move there. Brave from that Williams.
What's happened to Hammer? Let's have a little look. Hammer looks to be luckily fully intact there. We'll move back up to the midfield briefly. So, oh my God, look, lucky timing. Jesus Christ, still 4 cars out here. Tower and Hemp have kind of benefited there. They've each moved up in position 2. The battle for 7th and 8th. I'll stick on board with this, mate. If there's any other ones, just you know what to do. The old holla, 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 posy, posy, posy. I'm never saying that again in my fucking life.
No, I'm definitely fixated on this little 5-car scrap that's going on now for 4th place. It's really good. And Grim, although he's having pressure from that Williams right now, as it's gonna... Here he goes.
Red Bulls are together as well. We'll have a little bit of a look at Big Grim. Thought better of it there. Gonna wait and see. Oh, hold on a minute. No, Ben got Grim, didn't he? Sorry, what am I talking about? Goodness me. Wash mouth out with soap and headbutt wall. Ben moves up to 4th position. Great stuff. Now, what I'm actually going to do briefly, I did see the Red Bulls up here having a bit of a scrap, and they are. So here comes Jan and Verstappen. Unusual territory, Keo, for the pair of them, really, across all leagues. Only Verstappen, I mean, they've got 2 podiums in 3 different disciplines over the course of 1.5 seasons. And here comes ESR Verstappen, trying his luck with Soldier Jan. We'll keep on this battle for the moment.
switching all over the place just to try and get himself into a decent position. DRS is open now.
Give me a better camera, come on, come on. We've not got a good camera, we have to go into normal car mode. Verstappen going for the outside, that's never going to be the best unless you have a switchback opportunity. Oh, this camera angle can poke itself. In the background, Grimm has got back past Ben with Vemmans, Tower and Hemp still in the line. I mean, luckily they're giving us aerial shots so you can catch quite a bit of the action. So what we'll do, and we're on lap 3 kills, so DRS is now activated. Now, here's a question. These guys are battling in the Red Bulls. There's no constructors points in this championship, so obviously every man for himself, which means we're going to see a lot more inter-team battling. The pit stops, what do you think is going to happen? I mean, you know, are they going to communicate with each other, or are they going to just kind of not tell each other for a strategy spec? Oh, Jan runs off the track! I've called him Jan, lol. And Ben and Grimm in the background too. I'm going to go back to this for a minute. Oh, Vemmans as well there. Getting his eye in. Oh, Ben's running a little bit narrow on the corner.
Verstappen is trying everything possible just to try and psych Jan into a possible mistake. He's switching left and right just to try and find a decent line, just to get Jan into an awkward position. But Jan's having none of it. He's sticking to his lines absolutely brilliantly.
You know what they say about the Dutch Keo? Definitely just kind of, they got almost nerves of steel, haven't they? And we know that Jan is a character and a half. But here comes Verstappen now. Great view from the camera. They're giving us a good on board here. And Verstappen goes down the inside. Runs a little bit wide. Jan with a switch.
He's gone too deep. He's gone too deep.
Just about. He's done him. He got him back. Great
Jan
driving
takes
by
the
Red
position
Bulls.
back. But at the same time, though, this is bringing the McLaren in the background. That is bringing Forrester into play here. All he's got to do is just sit back, just watch these two squabble, wreck their tyres, and he's in a prime opportunity. He hasn't got a real threat behind him. All he's got to do is just keep up with these guys, and he'll be in with a very, very good opportunity later on in the race.
He certainly does. And Jan, oh, he's pushed Verstappen off. Oh, that was naughty. Goodness me. Oh dear. No room given.
Very, very aggressive driving there.
Oh, dear me, Jan. The aggression fought, and Grimm is down to 7th. And Hemp's bouncing across the curbs there in the background. Hemp has let these other guys go through. And Vemmans! Vemmans no wing in the background. Something really has happened here. And there's Hemp. Oh, is it something to do with... Do you think it might have something to do with Hemp, Keo? He's given the position back.
Very, very likely. I mean, there doesn't seem to be any damage on him at all.
No, it doesn't seem it, does it? But it could have been a... I think I did see him bouncing across the curbs. So unless he's had some form of incident... Well, obviously someone's had some form of incident. Verstappen's rhythm has been entirely disrupted here. And Ben now is getting a run on Verstappen here. And I think Verstappen may have some wing damage. No, he doesn't. He's going for a switchback. Ben rides that curb. So we are still side by side here. What a start to the Grand Prix.
It's getting very, very close between Hemp Gamer and... Oh, what is going on?
What's going on back there? We'll switch
Venoms
back
is
briefly.
really, really struggling, and Hemp is stuck behind him, but it seemed like he was going to overtake him before the DRS, and it looked like the two of them nearly run each other off the track.
And Verstappen pits, by the way, as does Forrester. Forrester's pitting on lap 5.
Hemp, just be patient, he's going into the pits. There we go.
Tower
Now
and
you've been
Grimm.
released.
Side by side into the first corner. Oh, good lord. And Tower's done him. Around the outside with the Toro over a Force India on the harder tyre. High Tower beam. We've not even thought about him being a contender here even. And Mustafa Shag, can we just point out, is in 4th place. Through all the madness. In fact, Jan's pitted as well. Is there just no grip here?
I think maybe the soft tyre runners, they're really starting to struggle now. I mean, like, it is scripted for 50%, so they must be really having difficulties on this track right now. But I mean, Grimm, he's not pitted. He's still going out on those softs, and he's keeping up with that Toro Rosso on those medium compounds. So I think he's just keeping himself to himself and just not getting involved in too many scraps.
I mean, he was involved in the 5
like you said, Shag.
But other than
Yeah,
that, he's
Shag
brilliant.
up to 4th. Like, that's fantastic. But then again, that's exactly what Shag does. He keeps himself to himself in the early stages of races, and he finds himself in these really strong positions while people just battle the hell out of each other. Oh, he pits now.
Grim pits, yep. So we've got Tower now chasing down Ben. Mustafa Shag is also pitting. The soft tyres are not working. They are simply not working. We're on board now. We'll keep flicking through briefly as we come across the pits. And we've got another battle potentially emanating here between Forrester and Hemp. Hemp, of course, hasn't pitted, I don't think. No, I don't think Hemp has he? So Grim is in 6th at the moment. Comes out the pits now. No threat coming down the start-finish straight, it seems. So Grim resumes.
Grim has pitted for a set of hard tyres, but Shag has got another set of softs on. I don't understand that.
Is he going for the route that you said about the 3-stopper? Because I know I just about come back in time to hear you talking about Mustafa Shag, obviously being the guy who will be, you know, potentially one of the guys utilising the 3-stop strategy. So it has calmed down briefly in this Grand Prix. So just to kind of give a rundown of this absolutely crazy stint. In fact, what I'll do, actually, I'll stay on board with our race leader, It's Your Mum, who, you know, we have spoken about in high regard, obviously. He's had a very, very bad streak in this, well, in the whole of Season 2, across every single discipline he's raced in. He's had a stinker. Our Saturday champion from last season, of course. Has just not really had any real luck. And Ben pits! So let's see where Ben comes out. I will stick on board with Ben, beautifully down just under, well, it's 43 miles an hour. I'm not sure if that's meant to go back to 50, but we'll let that go. We've had Swizzle and Cameron McMahon also joining the stream. Thank you very much, guys, for watching. Swizz, we will see you in approximately 40 minutes. Ben's already been released here, and I believe it's going to be coming out. He's behind Hemp. Will he get Grim? Two of them were side by side pretty much when they got released, and I think Ben has jumped Grim. The overcut on Grimdog. Wow.
He definitely has, and he's got plenty of room on the track as well. He's got a nice gap there.
With the quicker tyre as a kind of bank of Verstappen, obviously with the incident with Jan, will of course, I'm actually going to make a note of these, Q, actually. I think that might be the best way, you know, just to kind of have a little look. So I'll go on board now with our inherited race leader, Hightower. Jan is still in 2nd position. I'm going to basically just keep notes of any incidents as well, bro.
Yeah, of course.
But Vemon's no wing. And of course Wayne with, I believe it was, who was it? I think it was Grim and Forrester, I believe. No, Grim and Venoms. So, basically guys, here we go. Tower maintains 1st position. Now, will he go for the 1-stop, Keo? Can he do it?
Looking very likely.
We have got a little bit of a battle emanating, so we're going to go on board with Forrester, who's on softs again. Now that is not what I was expecting.
What's shocking to me is the fact that the medium tyres of Hightower Beam, they've done 9 laps. They are at least probably 2 laps older, because Soldier Jan, 2nd position on the harder compound, and even though Hightower's on those older medium tyres, he's pulled out 0.3 of a second. Well, in saying that, the gap was 9.4, now it's down to 8.8, so Soldier Jan has started to find a rhythm. Shut up, Kehoe.
Do you know what, as well, we've actually one thing we haven't mentioned, unless I just missed you mentioning it, the track conditions, in terms of the kind of weather. Obviously the harder tyre will take a little bit longer to kind of acclimatise, but then saying that, that's why, I'm guessing that's why Forrester is kind of healed and hauled, shall we say. Jan in, and he's got DRS now, Forrester, so this is going to be hopefully setting up for another nice corking battle here. Get onto the old broadcast cam, you see Hemp in the background. Hemp has not pitted, of course, so he is still going there. Stay on board with Forrester briefly.
He's just trying to run his own races, Hightower. Just trying to maintain that gap as best as possible. Damage limitation at this point. Oh, Soldier Jan getting a little bit out of shape. He's struggled on that particular chicane for the last couple of laps. I've seen him either overshooting the corner or just hitting that curb a little bit too much.
And Forrester, now this should be bread and butter, this. Yeah, I'm making it work, and McLaren has just out-dragged a Red Bull. Forrester is pushing that car to its absolute limit, and Forrester takes control of 2nd position. Now, depending on strategy, potentially a net 1st place, but it's not over yet because Jan's having to go back up the inside here. So here we go, and
if I was Jan, I'd be I'd be a little bit more patient. Like, Forrester's on the faster tyre. He's on that soft compound. That's going to wear out pretty quickly. He's on the hard compound. Just bide your time. Just wait until the main straightaway and then try another move.
Go for it, kind of. Maybe even potentially wait a lap or two. Because we've witnessed these soft tyres just die painful deaths. I mean, it may be, I know they were the ones that they used in qualifying, but speaking of this, however, here comes Soldier Jan at the inside. Will he show patience? He doesn't show patience.
Ooh.
And he goes for a little dive bomb there. Jan really needs to calm down a little bit here, to be fair. As you mentioned, Keo, an exact opposite of what you advised him to do. Be patient. 2 corners later, he does a Jan bomb up the inside of the end of the DRS straight in Sector 2, entering Sector 3. Forrester, of course, having a very, very nice little race. You know, you mentioned, ironically, him and Shag are having very, very parallel races, aren't they? Just in different positions on the track. One of them is kind of driving, you know, well, they're both having the same race, just Forrester's a bit further up, you know, biding the time, not getting involved in too many battles. And look, because of Forrester's, or Jan's bomb, Keo, look at the gap now between the two of them. Jan, oh, we got a move in the background there. It is, I believe, Hemp Gamer and It's Your Mum. And Ben's got him.
Side by side into the third corner.
Has Ben got him?
Ferrari's not giving it up.
Hemp, I believe, needs to pit. He's not pitted yet, Hemp, on these tyres, so 11 laps on these, plus his qualifying time on them as well. Ben should really have the far superior tyres here, and obviously, with the Ferrari having just about a superior car, Ben still makes a move stick up into 4th position there.
Great bit of driving between the two of them there, and it's nice to see 2 different constructors and 2 different engines in this series battling it out, especially with the performance. It's really been a very good series that you've introduced here in the ESR, and I've enjoyed watching every single race on YouTube.
It's been amazing. Do you know what? It's not only amazing; it's been different. I mean, because obviously we're not just basically assigning one driver to one car. If, you know, for example, if we do make the kind of booby, so to speak, of putting the wrong driver in the wrong car, there is always a kind of thing to change, and every single change that we've done has kind of introduced us to a whole nother level of battling here. Now, what will Hemp do? Hemp has stayed out again, so he's entering his 12th lap, at least, not including qualifying, on these tyres. So we'll get on board with Hemp, kind of on a driver's perspective. We'll go on the T-cam, we don't really do that very often. So here we go.
Meanwhile, Forrester pits. He's going on a set of the mediums now.
Forrester again pitting. That's 2 pit stops in 11 laps. Forrester not having much joy on these tyres. Hemp almost losing the back end there. Forrester, I believe, has come out just behind Mustafa Shag here in 8th position. Yes, he has. There goes Shag through, and we'll get off this camera now because I don't want to give him much love. It doesn't deserve it, really. Hammer has had a pretty much atrocious race so far after his earlier collision. And speaking of atrocious races, Pure Venoms is just simply last now.
Yeah, he's absolutely nowhere after losing that front wing. That's cost him so much time.
So, I mean, our predictions have both been kissed goodbye, really, haven't they? I mean, Grim, well, not really. I mean, Grim is still sort of in some form of contention. Hammer just really didn't do anything wrong. He just kind of put his wheel on the grass and someone was there. There's not really much that you really can say in relation to that, but it was just really kind of nowhere else for either of the 3 cars to go, unfortunately. But we do have them.
No, I mean, the second you run off the track, that's it. You're a passenger, and it was just unfortunate that car just clattered into him at that point.
Just having a little look at the stream here. How are we looking? A bit jittery. Yeah, it could be better. Right. So Jan now is currently. We'll do a little flick through. So we currently have Tower in 1st position. Jan is just simply 4.6 seconds behind in 3rd. Second, sorry. Ben at 3rd. Hemp is in 4th. Hemp finally pits and is instantly down to 6th position behind the Grim and Verstappen battle there. So here comes Hemp now on the hard tyres. Is he going to try and risk it? One stop.
I definitely feel that he's got the driving style that could do that. Meanwhile, though, Verstappen and Grim battling it out. That Red Bull trying to go around the inside. Oh, nearly goes into the back of that Force India. Manages to stop the car just in time.
Grim versus Verstappen. Grim leaving a slight gap there. It's almost like he's dangling the carrot in front of the donkey, isn't he? Just kind of almost inviting him to have a go, saying, come on, come and have a go if you think you're hard enough. Verstappen almost taking the bait around a few of these corners here, but it's all about what, though I think both Red Bulls almost need to kind of take into account. They really need to be patient and get into the slipstream, as Verstappen has done very, very sweetly here. And I believe he's going to come soaring past Grim. Will he be able to this time hold it? And he's held it
Brilliant
too much.
Exit. Ooh.
What an exit by Grim, though. Absolutely brilliant. Grim holds fourth. Wonderful bit of driving there by the Grim Dog.
Oh, he's probably enjoying that. Although it will probably be very short-lived as we're coming up to the DRS section.
Scott's made a bad entrance to that corner. Look at the gap already. It's going to be under a second, so of course, Key, as you mentioned, DRS coming up. It will, of course, be a factor, and it will be here, because Verstappen's going to get right back on the trail of Grim. Will he be able to do any damage? Now, interesting enough, only 14 seconds between first and fourth at the moment. So, and here we go. Saying that, Tower's pitted, by the way.
Doing the right thing.
Tower has pitted.
Grim doing the right thing by defending on the inside. Keeps that position for another lap at least.
Tower comes out in fifth position, will stay on board with ESR Verstappen and Grim, who seem to be the biggest one at the moment. I mean, I'll focus on this. I don't think there's anything else going on, but in front, I think there is a bit of a space gap between the top two. We'll focus on this battle briefly. And Grim does run wide there. It invites Verstappen to get alongside. Oh, very close to touching there. Good bit of awareness by the pair of them. Verstappen sinks back inside. Great run out of the kind of S's. The S's. So here, oh, Verstappen, that's a bad entrance to that corner, catching dirty air there. Does get DRS though. What will Grim do this time? Middle of the track. Perfect defensive position. Really, that is just saying, come and have a go if you think you're hard enough. Here comes, there's still battling
that's
here.
beautiful.
We've got a three-car train behind, but we are going to focus on Grim and Verstappen. Keo, of course, you have driven very well with Grim this season. Obviously, Grim has just had a spot of bad luck, a wave of bad luck, an ocean of bad luck in the last few races. So Verstappen, that's an override here. Moving on now, entering the 15th lap of the Spanish ESL Performance Round 4 Grand Prix. Here we go, here comes Verstappen, and we've got another pitter in the background. I think maybe it's, I think 7th position. We'll double check here. I'm obviously not going to leave the battle. I think Shag is pitting again. Interesting, a Grim runs very, very wide into the first corner. It's Verstappen, look at Verstappen, not faltering, and behind them, Tower has been overtaken by Forrester. Huge move there by Forrester, just caught in the background, but we are still on board with Verstappen, who simply can't get past Grim.
Yeah, that Force India is really struggling with the understeer, but it just seems that it's got a lot more grunt going into the medium speed corners than that Red Bull. That Red Bull Renault just, well, that Tag Heuer branded engine, as it prefers to be called now, it just doesn't have the top end grunt that Mercedes powered Force India does.
With DRS it does help, but then of course Force India does have, if it was a Williams, I think it may be a different matter, wouldn't it? But here we go, for the third consecutive lap now. Verstappen will try, I think he just can't, no, don't exit multiplayer please, thank you very much. Verstappen cannot, Verstappen simply cannot make any audacious moves here. Forrester is pulling away from High Tower Bean as well. But here we go. So many
Grim's doing everything that he needs to do
just
to try and get Verstappen as annoyed and frustrated as possible. Look how much of a better exit that Grim has at the final corner compared to...
It's simply saving him at the moment. It really is. But Verstappen this time, will it save him now? I think Grim, perfect positioning there. Is one defensive manoeuvre. Will Scott have the bravery to go round the outside? Good fucking lord, he did. What a move. What a move by Verstappen up into third place. But now, the problem is, the grunt from the Force India means that, you know, he's not going to be able to pull away. Barring Grim making mistakes. Grim simply needs to keep his head, which he's very good at doing in these sort of situations. And there's another hiccup.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Grim will be as patient as anyone, and he will wait until the 32nd lap before he makes a move if he deems it, you know, correct. But look at already, that Red Bull has begun to pull a little bit of a gap, so the aerodynamic might of that Adrian Newey design car just benefiting Verstappen here just a little bit more.
Seems it. It does seem that we're going to simply switch on board here to Jan, who is being chased by Ben, and then basically get over back to Verstappen and Grim, who I believe are the main on-track battle at the moment. We will just keep on board with them. Getting a lot of TV time here, fellas. Congratulations. Now, this is interesting because Grim has nailed the chicane. Verstappen has struggled, and it just goes to show Verstappen running quite wide there. Grim getting a much better exit, which has given the Force India a little bit of a chance here to kind of have a little go here, and I think he's going to have a real big go, actually. Let in mind little. Now, this is going to take bravery from Grim. He's got so much more speed. Will he actually have a go into the first corner? He does! And he does, is he going to stick it? No, not quite. Couple of inches away from really being able to dig his car in, dig his claws in. And once again, this seems like deja vu. Another battle between Verstappen and another car when Forrester is just behind them. And they have the potential of catching back up. Bearing in mind here, Keo Forrester has made a stop more than these two guys. Oh, excellent speed, high-speed driving for Forrester today.
He's had the benefit as well as clean air. He's not really gotten himself involved in too many scrapes, so all he's done is he's just run his own race. That McLaren, it doesn't have the power, and it doesn't have the ability to do what the Red Bull and the Force India are doing in front of him. So he's just kept himself clean, just kept himself out of all of the kind of trouble, and that's really, really helped him get into that position. And now he's in a prime position to pick up any scraps from these two, and I fully believe that these two will race. They'll overtake each other or die. That's the way it's getting.
It seems, doesn't it? Especially with the personalities too. You've got to look past that. Both guys, we've got the Verstappen and Grimm are two of the most competitive drivers we have in the field. You know, in terms of actual on-track battling. As we will now go back over to Grimm. It will all be about the last stop, won't it? It'll be simply about the last stop with these guys. Getting strategy, as long as Grimm can keep with him, which he certainly has done here. And we go now towards the first corner once again. Come on, I think we are. There we go. Grimm is reminding Verstappen. This is almost karma for what Verstappen was doing to Jan earlier, isn't it? Grimm is almost trying to force Verstappen now to making a mistake.
This is exactly every time Verstappen was behind a guy, he was darting to the left, darting to the right, just always making sure that the guy in front knew that he was in his wing mirrors. And I think to his detriment, that does make it a little bit harder for him, because he does it always at the last minute, so he always has to struggle to get, position the car into the inside line. But he's in front, so what do I know?
Well, do you know what? The only thing you got to think about now is, if he's doing that while he's behind, will he do it while he's in front? Will he flap the way he was it seemed like he was flapping when he was behind, wasn't he? But he's done a good job so far. He's contained the Force India, which does, of course, as we know, have far superior straight line speed than the Red Bull. But of course, as you mentioned, Adrian Newey designed Red Bull. Tag Heuer, or Heuer, I don't fucking have a clue. It's probably some form of German or Dutch. If it's not, guys, forgive me. Kind of the Red Bull, shall we say, just simply seems to do the job for Verstappen. Grimm getting a little bit wide there. Verstappen bouncing the curb, as does Grimm. So both guys remain within DRS here, not battling anymore. It's kind of safe to be said, which means that they are starting to pull a little bit of a gap on Verstappen here. On Forrester, sorry. And here we go then. I think I'm Murray walking out, getting names wrong. Grimm has gone for the inside here. He's done it. He's stuck it up the inside, and Grimm with a fantastic move back into the final podium position.
Brilliant. Absolutely fantastic.
Balls of steel.
He just caught him sleeping there.
But will Verstappen respond? He's got a perfect chance to here. Round turn 4, Hamilton and Rosberg. Oh
no!
Unbelievably close to the back of Grimm's car. What a save there by Verstappen. But that's not going to do him any favours. Not in the slightest.
No,
Grimm, I believe, has
not.
won this battle for the moment. Woohoo! That's how you do it.
That was a half-hearted move. He shouldn't have been there. If he wasn't going to fully commit, he should have just backed off. Let Grimm be fully aware that he was there, and he would have had the opportunity for DRS, and that's really cost him, and that's probably going to hurt his tyres a little bit.
Ooh, Keo, he's not even got DRS. He didn't get it. Wow. The whole kind of incident there, just kind of almost in a way causing him some detriment. I'm going to have a little flick through the back myself, actually. Let's have a little look. So we're down to 7th with Hemp, 8th is Shag, 9th is Hammer, and 10th is Vemans. Not having a fun race by any stretch of the imagination. I believe, actually, Vemans, Keo, is a lap down at this early stage of the Grand Prix. Ben Pitts!
Yeah,
Ben Pitts from second.
Venoms has actually sent a message asking if he could retire. He's not having a very fun afternoon.
Simply say, mate, pit lane if he wants to. He'll just obviously lose his 1 point. But if he wants to, yes, he certainly can do if he wishes. We're on board with Forrester now, and the battle between Grimm and Verstappen has resumed. Here we go into the same corner again. Oh, Verstappen this time a little bit closer to Grimm this time. And he's got it up the inside, which means he's got the outside line round T5. Grimm. Oh my god, they're still side by side.
All going to be about this next corner now.
Oh, he's hit Grimm.
Oh.
Where's Grimm? Grimm saves it this time. Goodness me. Oof. Jesus Christ, the two of them are absolutely wheel to wheel. Awesome racing.
This is what I mean. One of them is going to finish in front of the other one, or they're going to die. Like, this is exactly the kind of racing I would expect from these two.
I'm going to make a note of that. Just so we've got a reference of it as well if it gets brought up. But it is there. That was, goodness me, I mean, the two of them wheel to wheel, as you mentioned. What, ride or die? I think that was the old expression, wasn't it? In one of the old movies. So has Verstappen now finally escaped Grimm. Well, speaking of escaping, Forrester is now into the fray as well now. No DRS here for Grimm, but DRS for Forrester. So here we go.
This is what I was talking about, just letting them battle it out, and then he can just pick up the scraps as he goes along.
Oh, bloody hell. Speaking of pick up scraps. Where has he gone?
He went into the back of the Grimm.
Too far.
I've managed to
Way
record
too
that.
Far. Did you get it, mate? Yeah. I was on board with Grimm
yeah,
at the
he
time. Broadcast, and he used to watch out because Ben's coming round as well. So let Ben go.
No, he's keeping well out of the way. Great observant driving there from the McLaren driver.
Great awareness. So now we can have a look here. No damage, it seems, to Forrester's car. He has really dodged the bullet there in terms of that move, but obviously he hasn't dodged the bullet considering. I tell you what, this action-packed there.
You know what the best thing is? We got Monaco after this.
Oh yes! Oh fuck my life. Well, we, as we did last year, we predicted who was going to finish, not who was going to win. That is simply. It's probably going to be it'd be an easier way. And all I will now turn around and say to you, my brother, is that Hightower is in 4th place again. Now, I'm intrigued. I am intrigued. As the lapped car, I believe Vemmans is still going actually, so he's chosen so far to keep it going. He's currently about to be lapped by 2nd position Verstappen, incidentally, so he's coming up on the back of him. We're going to go reverse up the field, so Hammett is in 9th position, Shag is in 8th of course, Hemp in 7th, good recovery drive from Hemp. In fact, this may be the next battle we have on track. Forrester in the McLaren has now been almost put in jeopardy, it seems, Keo, by Hemp, who is currently racing in 7th position. Bearing in mind, McLaren can't really light a candle to Ferrari, can they, in that particular case, in terms of engine power. So now let's see how good Forrester really, really will be. Oh my god, I think, wow.
Oh, he's really struggling with that top-end speed.
He's going to just simply have to rely on the cornering. Ferrari, not the best in terms of cornering. But of course they are. Would you almost say Ferrari the best, most well-rounded car? Or would you call that the Mercedes?
Oh, I would definitely, in this particular game, it's definitely a Mercedes, but Ferrari is not too bad around these types of circuits. Like warmer temperatures, harder tyre compounds. It's definitely a car that you want to drive around.
Forrester runs a bit wide there. Hemp just looking underneath the mirror here with Forrester. Hemp still on the coattails of him.
So close to the back of that McLaren.
Ben has pitted. Of course, he is in 5th position. So Ben, I believe, now will be going to the end here, Keo, so he'll be chasing down the Toro Rosso. Flick it over to the front. And we've got a pitter, it is Grimm. And Vemmans is pitting. Will it be a retirement? We don't know. He has requested it.
Set mediums for Grimm.
Forrester does pit. Which has released Hemp. Shag has flown past him, by the way. Shag up to 7th position all of a sudden here. Forrester 8th, Hammer.
Meanwhile, Soldier Jan, who was in the lead of this race, he's also pitted. But
2nd.
Verstappen, on the harder compound, stayed out.
Ooh, now. Verstappen. Jan, this is going to be interesting. Will Verstappen show his same car? I'm just calling him teammate, but you know what I mean, don't you? Will he show his teammate the same sort of love that his teammate showed to him? I mean, because of course we know that Verstappen went into the wall earlier in the race.
That's going to be very, very interesting as Jan's taken a 0.3 of a second out of the middle sector alone.
Already. Oh, Verstappen, I'm on board with Scott actually, and Scott pits. So that answers the question, which is going to completely release Jan here. Will Jan be able to hit his first Grand Prix victory? And then, of course, we've got the argument for podium as well, haven't we? So here we go then. Venoms is still going round. Brave driver Venoms, of course, as we know. He's done a bit of a stinker. And that is Tower up to second, Ben to third. Now, will Verstappen...
We're going to be about Hemp Gamer.
In front of Hemp. He has. Carter Vemmans.
Yeah, he's just done enough.
Out the way. Vemmans will need to move out the way very soon. I anticipated being around this corner, I believe, Keo, or the next straight that he'll just simply dart out of the way. Good driving by Vemmans. Fantastic driving by Vemmans. You know, it's just a shame that he's all the way down there. Red Bull versus Ferrari for fourth, though. Very interesting. Grim not a million miles away from Hemp. So Grim in sixth position. Shag just think... Do you know what? These guys are all unusually close to each other. They are. There's no one driver. I mean, in this race, at some point in this season, there's always been one driver. For example, Hemp in China. Shag around Bahrain was the biggest example after his battle with Hightower. And Russia was eventually Hammer, wasn't it? You know, but then now, we've not really had a guy dominate in such a way. Kind of really goes to show that the kind of car equalisation has really, really done its job here. But Keo, we are looking at Ben in third position. He is catching Hightower. Forgive me for saying at a rate of knots here. Ben is coming for the hard tyres, so he's going to be... Well, obviously will be going to the end on these tyres. Fourth is Verstappen. Fifth, Grim, and... Whoa, wait there. Grim's got Hemp!
Whereabouts is that? Oh, just going on to him now.
For fifth.
But where's that McLaren that was in between the two of them as well?
That was Vemmans, I believe, who was having possibly the most shocking drive of his life. On board with Vemmans now briefly. And he does come back out. It was a drive-through penalty for Vemmans. And he's now being... lapped, and he's let the car go. Just an absolute horrible Grand Prix. Back on board with Grim, who has done Hemp, which is a huge moment. In the season. Another huge moment is basically the battle for second place here, which is now, it has to be considered a 3-car scrap between, we have here, second is Tower, third Ben, fourth Verstappen. You'd have to favour the Red Bull, but then we know what this Williams can do under the steady hands of Ben. All on different compounds. So Tower is going to the end, I'm assuming, on a one-stop, with Ben and Verstappen, who've each done 2 stops. So very, very intriguing to see which way this pans out.
And of course, Ben, who had the 100% race yesterday, he's got that added experience of driving around here.
I was about to say, Keo, the only guy out of the top... Well, obviously we know Jan did it as well, didn't you? Forgive me there, Jan. But the only guy in the top 4 to actually have any lap time experience, because Jan, of course, did retire very early on after catching the grass just after turn 7. So here comes then Verstappen chasing down Ben, who is chasing down Tower. We have a sort of elasticated effect, don't we? Obviously, when you pull the elastic band, you have to let it go at some point, or it snaps. This is going to be very, very similar to this kind of an analogy of the race. It seems to be getting a teeny bit brighter in certain parts of the track. Still heavy cloud cover, so minimal chance of rain, I'm assuming here, Keo. I didn't see any in the start grid, but obviously you can never trust this, can you? With obviously storms coming in and stuff like that.
Yeah, no, it said it was going to be an absolutely clear race, and the sun was going to break out towards the end. So we can just see the shine, the glimmer, and the glare just dazzling off of that Red Bull as it gets very, very close to the back of that Williams.
I was about to say, we're on board with it. Verstappen, no patience again. One corner would have given him a much better run, but he still, luckily, got the run. Now, Verstappen has pulled off an outside move, but not when Ben's defending like that. That's fantastic. Blocking off the route.
Yeah, no, Verstappen just really needs to settle down. He's on the faster tyre than the 2 up front. All he needs to do is just wait for the next DRS section.
It's intriguing to see as well, Keo, isn't it? With the guys who have been promoted, everyone's been promoted to the next drives. Quite a few people are handling their cars better than others. Verstappen has some incredible power now. He was in the Force India and the Toro Rosso previously. But moving on now, interrupting myself. I love interrupting myself. That works. Here comes Verstappen now on the Williams. Now this is Red Bull v Williams. Ben swooping move. Going immediately for the defensive drive. Verstappen's gone after Whitfield. He's already done this once already, this race over Grim. Ben compromises his line. But the Williams has just
very slower into the next part.
Or does it? Because Verstappen, look at Verstappen, he's trying everything again. Couldn't quite get the job done.
Ben just not having any of it.
Ben wants that final podium position. We don't know about penalties, so that kind of adds to the spice at the end of the Grand Prix. But here we go, 6.5 laps to go then. Red Bull 1-4, Jan first. Then we have Tower second, Ben third. We have as well Verstappen fourth, Grim fifth, Hemp sixth, Shag seventh, Wayne eighth, Forrest ninth, Vemans 10th. McLaren's having a stinker, but that now leads us back to the turn 7 battle. Here we go then. Verstappen having another run. Ben going defensive again. Oh, he's driven into him. Oh dear, come on Verstappen. Easy up there, young horsey. Right. It just turned into...
It's not an AI car, he's not going to get out of your way.
No, and Ben will not get out of your way. It's entirely his right to be there. Verstappen just a little bit too vivacious on the turning there a little bit. Needs to slow it down, and Tower must be thinking, thank my lucky fucking stars here, because he's getting away in the slowest car out of the 3. But here comes once again the 3rd time consecutively. Here comes Verstappen having another go at It's Your Mum, and this time he keeps his line. Ben says, if you want to have a go, come and have a go. I'll let you go.
Oh, it's going to get very, very close.
Absolutely beautiful. Perfect manoeuvre. That is how it's done.
He should have waited for that.
This could have happened a lap or two ago.
Verstappen could have done that 2 laps ago.
Yeah, exactly.
A lap or 2 ago.
It's the patience. I mean, no, ironically, in your first race, we also had the same discussion on commentary about yourself. But you know,
yeah, no, I was going to go there exactly. No, this is what Verstappen. I learned it the hard way. Like, you know, through my first season, I believed, because I'd been out of e-racing for so long. I was just convinced that everyone was a AI. They would get out of my way. Obviously, I learned that the hard way. But I learned patience, and I think that's what Verstappen needs to do now.
He really does, and especially considering he's now in a faster car, he will be competing at the front, so obviously the penalty for getting it wrong will be much bigger in terms of his own personal hauling. But here we go then. Here comes Verstappen. Now this is what Tower was dreading. I think the pair of them may have come to a mutual agreement, Ben and Verstappen. I'm not sure if Ben will be happy with the kind of side swipe he had in him a minute ago, but the second move was absolutely brilliant. Here comes Verstappen then. Now we know this is an easy advantage for Verstappen. Tower, one of the strongest defenders in the eSports Racing League. Here comes Verstappen though, and it's just kind of almost paid.
Easy pickings.
Goodness me, unfortunate there for Tower. Especially on, well, he's on 19 lap old tyres nearly. No, I think it's 15 lap old tyres, but still, considering these guys are all come out fresh. And can we just point out as well, we've not mentioned him in the whole of this little scrap, Keo. Your Saturday teammate Grim is there in the background, doing the old Forrester manoeuvre, waiting for the scraps, and then seeing what he can do. Go on board with Ben.
Yeah, he's just keeping himself to himself. It's points. He's finishing in front of his championship rival, and that's the most important thing. Even though he's finishing 5th, he's still finishing in front of Shag, who is way down in 7th. Although he is catching that Hemp. He's catching Hemp Gamer.
Let's have a look here then. We'll go on board with these. We haven't shown Shaggy much love, but we're going to now. The first time, hopefully, we're going to see a proper ding-dong between a Mercedes and a Ferrari. And Hempo. Wow. Well, I guess that was easy.
Major lock
Shag
up
up
there.
to 6th. What's the lock up there? I was about to say, mate, the track's this way, but you know, there is a bit of run off road, but if you want to go down that one, you can do. Lap 30, the race leaders are on there, Keo. Just over 4 laps to go. Personal thoughts of drive of the day so far, I will probably myself give it to... Well, I'm not going to give it to anyone yet, because we've got a potential manoeuvre here coming from Hemp on the back of Shag again. Here we go. Merc versus Ferrari. This time we're going to get a proper ding-dong at it. Here we go. My second stream will be a bit quiet because maybe it'll be a bit better. But here we go then. It is going to be Shag and Hemp still side by side entering T3. And Shag did it. He held it so far and he's done it. Great traction there from the Mercedes.
Meanwhile, further up the road, It's Your Mum is looking to make a move on Hightower. He's been the closest he's been for the last 5 laps.
And Verstappen is gone, can we just point out.
Oh yeah, he is gone like the wind.
He's on him. He's on him now. I think he should get this here, Ben. Give me a better camera angle. We're not, so... Oh, and he's just... Oh, goodness me, I'm not sure if that was a kind of lock-up or he just kind of swerving to make him aware that he was there in the mirrors. But here we go. Oh no, give me a better camera angle. Thank you very much. Right, so... Verstappen is about 5 seconds up the road already from this. Hampered deeply here. Tower, I think, is about to witness his 3rd position, his podium place, a gone, it seems. with Monaco coming up in the next 15 minutes, folks. So make sure you do tune back into the old POS channel for that, and of course it will be on YouTube as 2 separate videos. Grim is still in the background in 5th, and here comes Ben. Superior power unit, the Mercedes over the Ferrari, second-hand Ferrari, should we say, the Toro Rosso, and there we go. Nice and easy.
Yeah, that's what you've got when you've got last year's Ferrari engine in the back of that Toro Rosso. Just nothing he can do to the might of that Mercedes.
Nothing he can do. But with the Williams, of course, I'm amazed they've actually struck a deal that well, as I've Force India, to be able to run the kind of main Mercedes almost power unit, just with a bit of a downgrade on the old kind of, I think it's ERS system that's kind of downgrade. I'm not really entirely sure, but moving on from that anyway. We do have 6th position still battling. I'll run through a quick flick through the drivers. Hammer, successful pullback, still ahead of Forrester, and Vemans has carried on. He I think will get his point here, Keo, by the looks of it. He is, goodness gracious me, he's nearly 3 laps down, and he's just had a mare of a corner there around the last corner. Vemans is deeply struggling, holy moly. But what I will do now for the moment is we have 2 laps to go. In fact, no, I lied. He's just coming up to 2 laps down, forgive me. Sorry, Vemans. Just to make yourself feel better. Ben has cleared Tower, but Tower's not falling back at a rate of knots, so he may get one chance to kind of fight back. But will Grim now have a little go? Remember, we got 2 laps, and the Force India on that much fresher tyres. Will it be able to kind of maintain the gap to Tower? He's tried the one stop here, didn't really make it work as well. But Tower is back in the DRS of the Williams. That's kind of a commentary tip I didn't really want to expect to give, to be fair. And Tower is going to gun it around the outside of Ben, giving Ben something to think about. Obviously, he knows he's going to keep the position, Ben, but Tower, the guts and the guile to throw it back at a Williams. No fear.
Well, if you don't ask, you don't get.
Exactly. I think Shag has now outdone Hemp. It seems that way. I think it is all about Tower, Grim and Ben now. I think Ben should just about do it. Tower needs to watch out he doesn't get any punctures here, because this is now coming up to the 20th lap on these tyres, Kia. Unbelievable from Tower to get this one stopped. I did mention about the one stop being, superior in terms of time, but then we're not taking into account the different cars, because obviously we're looking at it from a Sauber perspective as well. So we've got to obviously think about that as well. But here we go then. Nice and easy here for Verstappen. This is going to be a Red Bull 1-2 in pretty dominant fashion, it seems. Jan coming around to catch Vemans, and this is going to be very interesting, this podium. I can't wait to hear what these 3 have got to say. But God help us if Jan wins.
Yeah, if I was looking at this from the Sauber perspective, I think my race strategy would just be, why bother?
My strategy would be wear a Manor and Renault. Hashtag go home. We've had a lot of interest from outside of this group as well. People wanting to race, but obviously that's a discussion for the committee, to kind of work out what happens, because we are pretty much quite far through the season now, of course. So we will double check. But on board with the race leader, Jan, and Vemans just decides to check out the beaches of Spain as he lets him through to lapping for the 2nd time. Jan, just a comfortable drive. Obviously, it's going to be a bit of a question. We do have a couple of incidents to review, Keo, of course, as well, afterwards. But I think we should probably do that. I'd probably say tomorrow, if you are free at some point. Just have a chat via Facebook, of course. Just have a little bit of a chat and see, because I think there's probably one that may need something doing about it, maybe 2. But we'll have a little look here, obviously based on clips, etc. Soldier Jan, he's been waiting for this. As our Jan, been with eSports since March. Entered just prior.
He's done a faultless drive.
He's been brilliant. A bit of a coming together with Verstappen earlier on. Potential investigation inquiry, of course, Keo, but we're not going to dampen this for the moment. Soldier Jan, Red Bull eSports Racing, round 4, Spanish Grand Prix victor. Now,
I will be looking forward to the interviews with Jan.
Oh boy. Can we get our Google Translator, please? Verstappen has come across the line there. And we actually do have another battle. It is for 8th, but I will be following the front runners. And Grim's caught Tower! Go on, Grim!
Or
Ben's 5th. Ben's penalties have dropped him.
Ben has dropped down to 5th on penalty countback.
Ooh, Shag. Oh my God, where's Shag going?
So that means then,
who's going to be on the podium with us? We've got to wait and see. Hemp is 7th. That's good. Forrester and Wayne are having an absolute ding-dong back here for 8th position, by the way. Racing to the line, as is the way with eSports. And Forrester has done him. And loses it on penalties. It's
no,
Tower.
Wayne's done him.
Wayne did him penalty count back. What an unbelievable ending. We have it here, Keo. We have
Oh,
Soldier
from
Jan.
3rd to 5th.
Ben must be fuming in terms of the penalties. 9 seconds. Drops him down, which means Jan, if you could please invite Jan, Verstappen and Hightower to the party, please, my man. We have a Soldier Jan picking up his first Grand Prix victory from Verstappen. Hightower in 3rd, Grim 4th, Ben 5th, Shag 6th, Hemp 7th. Ben, of course, losing out greatly. Forrester did overtake Wayne on the line for 8th, but it will not count. Hemp and Tower doing a one-stop, and Vemans doing almost a brave but kind of almost fruitless drive there, falling down into 10th spot. Obviously, Keo, as we did discuss, of course, before the podium celebration, of course, Keo, I will, of course, say that we will be investigating a few incidents as of tomorrow night, by the way. So a couple of incidents will be under investigation due to the fact we have 2 races with 2 lots of incidents, and we have Monaco, so we'll probably be here till the 27th of July next year. Right, so we have our 3 podium contenders. Congratulations to our little Dutch motherfucker, Soldier Jan.
Yes.
Picked one up. Well done, buddy. It's been a while since I've spoke to you, my man, since Monza last year, in Season 1 in Monza, of course, where you picked up the scraps from, ironically, the man in the party, Keo and Ben. Jan, can you give us some thoughts, man? Why not? You're a race winner.
Yes. Sorry, I have to.
Would you care to elaborate on that, sir?
Oh man, I have to admit, it was a very comfy drive.
I will
Only
bring up
'cause
a
I
point,
hit you.
however, there was a very, very big incident between yourself and Verstappen where you were battling for 1st and 2nd earlier in the race, and it appeared you almost
That
ran
was
off
my
the road,
fault.
Jan. It was
Yeah,
alright,
that was
okay.
my fault.
The
I'm
Christine
taking
Horner
full
said
on
he
that.
had to push, and he pushed.
God's sake.
Oh, shit.
Why do I
I was
bring
just
this up?
trying not to take him out.
And in doing so, almost
very
ruined
good
your own
race,
of course,
boss.
but Jan, brilliant. It looked brilliant from our side, faultless.
Thank you.
Verstappen, well done, mate. This is the first time we've ever spoken a podium situation, mate. So congratulations, buddy. So let me know how you thought that was.
Except for the crash, it was very good. I had a very good side-by-side battle with Nosh in that race.
It seemed that,
Which was
do you know
fun.
what? You've got a lot of telly time, but of course
I
I'd
was
say watch it.
surprised he pulled out.
But I mean, in terms of that, though, man,
Just going to leave that out there.
We'll leave the viewers' interpretation for that shit, shall we? And Tower, I bet you didn't expect to get that at the start of this race. But yeah, third position. Yeah, man. Obviously inherited from Ben. You and Grim had a fantastic race to the line battle there. We did catch that. But go on, mate, your race. What do you think?
Well, I thought I'd have a bit of fun, so that's why I went the slow tyre. Bit of fun in games, isn't it? At Monaco, I'll be on the fast laps.
I was about to say, you guys all know that Monaco is coming up next, which is going to be very, very interesting. But Keo, unless you have anything to say to the guys, anything you want to bring up really quickly?
No, other than you've all drove a fantastic race. Verstappen, you were just all over the back of everyone like a fly on shit. It was really, really fun to commentate with.
I hope
Other than
Me.
my teammate.
Hey, Jan.
Except for my teammate.
Yeah, we don't worry about Jan. He's not people like us.
But what I will say now, guys, on that bombshell...
Okay, I'm taking that as a big compliment, Kia.
Yep, and as the Dutch sense of humour says, yeah, we will move on. What we have today... Exactly, that's the point. Right, guys, this is going to be the end of Spain from I Am the Keo.
Take care.
And from ESR Posgod 84, we'll be back with you very, very soon for the Monaco Grand Prix. Take it easy, all the best, much love, take care, and we'll speak to you very, very soon. Goodbye for now.
His name